It rests beside the water, barely moving. But beneath its coarse fur, a growing burden has taken hold. Hard ticks crowd the soft skin around its ears, neck, back, and legs, feeding in places the animal cannot fully reach. From a distance, almost nothing appears wrong. The capybara remains low to the ground, its broad body settled beside the wetland vegetation. Its breathing is slow. Its eyes are half closed. Yet stillness does not always mean comfort. Around the base of each ear, the skin is thinner and more protected than the exposed surface of the back. For a feeding parasite, these sheltered places offer warmth, cover, and a firm place to remain attached. Some ticks lie almost flat against the skin. Others are more swollen, their bodies enlarged after feeding. Hidden by fur and folds, they can remain difficult to see until the animal moves. The burden continues beneath the neck. Here, the capybara cannot easily turn its head far enough to inspect the skin. Coarse hair conceals scattered parasites, while deeper folds protect the densest clusters from rubbing against grass or mud. Farther back, more ticks interrupt the natural line of the coat. They gather across the shoulders, along the spine, and over the flanks. Each individual parasite is small. Together they create irritation across a body built for an entirely different kind of challenge. Capybaras are powerful swimmers. Their heavy shape moves through water with far more ease than it seems capable of on land. But speed in water cannot remove a parasite already fixed to the skin. Strength offers little advantage against something small enough to hide between strands of fur. The capybara flicks one ear, then again. Its head turns sharply, but the movement reaches only the surface. The attached ticks remain. A stronger shake travels through the shoulders and down the body. Loose dust falls away. The fur shifts, but the parasites hold fast. The capybara presses one side against rough vegetation and drags its body slowly along the stems. For a moment, the pressure may disturb the irritation. It may dislodge loose debris or reach a few exposed places, but the deepest folds remain protected. Behind the ears, beneath the neck, and along the center of the back, the worst areas are still beyond reach. The capybara enters the shallows. Water rises over its legs and touches the lower body. The cool surface may offer temporary relief, but immersion alone does not guarantee that attached ticks will release their grip. When the animal returns to the bank, much of the burden remains exactly where it was. So the capybara becomes still again. The discomfort is quiet. There is no sudden struggle, no dramatic escape, only repeated irritation carried through every pause. Then movement appears in the nearby grass. Several small birds have been searching along the wet ground, taking insects exposed between roots and reeds. At first, they show little interest in the capybara itself. They remain near its feet, watching the soil disturbed by the larger animal. Each heavy step can reveal small feeding opportunities. The birds follow these changes closely. One bird moves nearer. It pauses several times, measuring the distance between itself and the capybara's body. A sudden shift from an animal this large could be dangerous. The bird approaches carefully, retreating whenever the capybara moves. Then it notices something different. Not an insect in the grass, something attached to the animal. The bird rises onto the capybara's shoulder. For a moment, neither animal changes position. The capybara does not appear to welcome the contact, but it does not immediately resist it either. That stillness gives the bird time to investigate. Its beak parts the coarse hair with quick, precise movements. It searches along the shoulder, stopping whenever the skin moves beneath its feet. At first, there is no success. The bird pecks once at an exposed tick, but the parasite remains fixed. Its body may be visible, yet its mouth parts are anchored beneath the surface. The bird changes position. It lowers its head and grips closer to the point of attachment. A short pull follows. The tick shifts, but does not come free. The capybara flicks its ear and the bird steps back. For several seconds, the opportunity seems lost, but hunger gives the bird a reason to return. It approaches from a slightly different angle. This time, the beak closes firmly around the parasite. The bird pulls again. The tick releases. One small point of irritation has been removed. For the capybara, the difference is almost impossible to see. For the bird, the parasite, is a meal. That simple reward changes the pace of the encounter. The first bird begins searching again. A second bird approaches from the ground and lands farther along the shoulder. There is no organized plan between them. Each is responding to the same opportunity. One searches near the neck. The other moves across the upper back. Their movements are quick but cautious. They step through the fur, pause, inspect, and peck. The easiest parasites are taken first. Ticks exposed on the shoulder offer clearer access and more stable footing. Those hidden beneath the neck require the birds to lean between folds and search through denser hair. Around the ear, precision becomes even more important. The capybara's skin moves each time the ear flicks. A bird must approach, grip, and retreat before the animal shifts again. Some attempts end immediately. Others loosen the parasite without removing it. But each successful pull encourages another search. Gradually, the process begins to move across the body in the reverse order of the infestation. The shoulder becomes less crowded. A small patch near the neck clears. Scattered parasites disappear from the upper back. The change does not happen all at once. There is no complete transformation, only a series of tiny removals, each one following the same pattern. Search, grip, pull, feed, then begin again. The densest visible cluster remains behind the ear. Protected by the fold, one swollen tick has survived the capybara's shaking, rubbing, and immersion. It is larger than those already removed, but size does not make it easier to take. The bird grips the rounded body. The hold slips. The parasite remains attached. The capybara turns its head, forcing the bird to move away. For a moment, the cluster disappears beneath the folded skin. When the animal settles, the bird returns. It places one foot against the coarse hair and reaches deeper into the crease. This time, the beak closes closer to the skin. The bird pulls backward. The tick stretches away from the fold but still resists. Another brief adjustment. A firmer grip. Then the parasite finally breaks free. The bird swallows its reward and immediately begins searching for another. There is no celebration, no understanding of the relief it may have produced. The bird is feeding. The capybara is tolerating its presence. Their needs overlap only for as long as the opportunity remains. By now, the capybara appears less restless. Its ears still move. Its skin still twitches. And many smaller ticks may remain beneath the fur. But several of the most exposed clusters have been reduced. The birds continue checking the shoulders and neck, finding fewer easy meals than before. Eventually, one returns to the ground. The other follows. They move back toward the wetland plants, searching again among the roots and disturbed soil. Their departure does not mean the work is complete. It means the richest opportunities have become harder to find. The capybara lowers itself beside the water once more. It is the same animal. Its body still carries parasites. The deepest hidden pockets have not vanished, but the pressure has been reduced, one small feeding event at a time. The birds did not arrive to rescue it. The capybara did not ask them for help. One species carried a burden, another recognized food, and for a brief period, hunger brought them together. Nature does not always create cooperation through intention. Sometimes, one animal's discomfort simply becomes another animal's opportunity. And even when the relief is incomplete, it may still be enough to make the next quiet moment easier.